Oh boy. Prepare for a depressing time on the level of like Schindler's List, except, you know, like 60 years before that. Whew. When you hear anti-war film, you think of like Paths of Glory, Schindler's List, even Full Metal Jacket. And in all of those films, the most striking things about the anti-war nature of them don't happen during war, okay? They take place in army courts, in training camps, and in prisoner camps during wars. But watching those, I always felt like, oh, it's not quite what I expected. I expected, like, the kind of story, you know, the story of recruits, new recruits, fresh-faced, moving through training and then into war, and then, oh, they realize how terrible it is. And to some degree, Full Metal Jacket is like that, but it was during Vietnam, which was a different sort of war, okay? There was a lot more standing about and stuff, and obviously the training is like the whole first half. I always wondered, why isn't there a film like that? It turns out there is, and there has been much longer. It came out before any of those films, which is why they had to do something different to it. Because this, All Quiet on the Western Front, is so iconic that there's no point telling another, you know, story that's exactly like that. And people have taken a lot of influence from it. You can tell when you watch it, there is so much influence taken from it throughout so many films. Every film that came after in the war genre, okay? But that's why it's such a, it felt like such a, oh, ding-dong moment to me when I realized what this was. Basically, we have a group of schoolboys during the beginning year of World War I. This was made before World War II. That's one of the crazy things about it, okay? And it's German schoolboys, okay? That's one of the brief things about this film, is it tells their perspective in 1930 when, you know, still weren't exactly friendly with the Germans, were we? They basically get riled up by their teacher into joining the army, and that scene is such a, it's such a like, oh god, look at like how people use propaganda in war and stuff like that, and it's such an incredible look into that. But that's the thing about this film. Every single scene, there are no throwaway scenes. Every single scene feels like its own iconic moment. It's unbelievable. Every single scene has a point to make about war and about all of this. Everything surrounding it. So those boys, they head into the army with ideas of glory. They get trained, come out the other side, go into the battle, and then they come out, and then they go back in, and then they come out, and it becomes their life, you know? It becomes their entire life. And they don't know what's going on. They don't know who's winning the war. They don't know what's happening. They don't know where they are half the time. And then we see the lead guy go home for like a break and have to live in that society. And they've made it feel by that stage, you know, they've made every viewer recognize how ignorant people who haven't been in a war are to it. And it's just, it's insane. Anyway, here is my 1-minute review for All Quiet on the Western Front. With Wings, I appreciated the technical prowess of the film, but I scored it somewhere in like the 50s, okay? With the Brahmin melody, I appreciated the early sound that they brought and the singing and dancing, but I give it like a mid-60. This film is the first in my Best Picture run that feels, today, still, after 90 years, like a true masterpiece. It takes so many of the vastly important moments in the life of someone who's been in a war and just shows them all. But with a script that, it's got moments of comedy, it's got nice moments, it still manages to feel incredibly depressing for sure, but it's got so many just moments that it explains so simply. It doesn't have like a, you know, incredibly intricate script. It just keeps every scene simple, but in doing that, it became each scene the iconic moment that teaches that lesson. I'm giving this 86 out of 100, probably the highest Best Picture score I'll be throwing out there until like Casablanca? It's truly genius. Next week is Cimarron. I have no idea what that is, but I'm interested. What other old films that didn't win Best Picture do you guys want to see 1-minute review? Let me know in the comments.